So on the calendar, it's mentioned today is Disappearance of Gauri Das Pandit, and also Srila Rupa Goswami. With regard to Gauri Das Pandit, all of the principal devotees in Krishna-lila, they also appear in Gaura-lila. Sometimes Srila Guru Maharaj has likened it unto playing hide and seek, that in Gaura-lila is like the hide and seek, but gradually Mahaprabhu and others, they're discovering who are these personalities by their devotional tendencies and qualities. Maybe someone can tell them that there's a class in progress. So, we hear from authoritative sources like Kavi Karnapur has written one book, the Gaura-lila Dipika. He's explaining who was this in this personality in Krishna-lila, they're this personality in Gaura-lila. So with regard to Gauri Das Pandit, he's saying, who is Subal, the cowherd boy Subal in Krishna-lila? He is Gauri Das Pandit and Gaura-lila. And Subal, as Sri Rupa is the leader of the junior group, the Manjari section, the assistants of the Sakis, Radharani's intimate friends like Lalita Vishaka, Subal is mentioned as the leader of the highest rung of cowherd boys, Priyanarma Sakas, the most intimate friends of Krishna. As Guru Maharaj reminds us, there's gradation in everything and everywhere. So even within Krishna consciousness, as given by Rupa Goswami, is Upadeshamritam, what Guru Maharaj sometimes says is like Mahaprabhu's instructions condensed and expressed through Rupa Goswami. There is a sloka there that begins, Vaikuntaj Janito Bara Madhupuri Tatrapi Rasotsavad. In one sloka, he's helping us understand what distinguishes Vaikunta from Vrindavan, and so we can understand the subsequent gradation in that world of devotion. Like here, because we're confined in the realm of time and space, we think in terms of higher and lower, nearer and farther, like that. It's often in a very linear way. So there's some parallel there, but here the gradations and the location of these different spiritual planes is based upon degree of dedication and devotion, which is another word really for love or divine love. Actually, love and divine love are the same. There's only one real substantial love. What goes by the name of love in this world is what goes by the name of love in this world. But really what we're searching for is love, but of the divine character, right? Which means beyond physical, any sort of physicality. Yashatma buddhi, tridatu ke, swadid kaladra, dishuboma ijidi, yatirta buddhi, shalale nakarja, janeshu, abhigyeshu, saeva gokara. Prabhupada would like to quote this verse, 10th canto of Bhagavatam, saying, generally we're fond of something because it has some connection with our bodily identity. I was born in this country, in this town, this village, this province, this time. So many things, we're thinking of it as mine or ours, when none of that is actually true. It's superficial and insubstantial. It's not, can never be thought of as being our permanent identity. So, as I've said many times, that the body is the biological expression of the soul's delusion. The svarup is the spiritual form expression of the soul's devotion. And thus, he's saying, Vaikunta janito bara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsavad. Saying, what makes Mathura? He's giving in a very condensed way. Because we can say, Vaikunta, then Ayodhya, then Dvaraka, Mathura, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Radha-kunda. He's saying, what makes Mathura superior to Vaikunta? Birth pastimes. Sometimes Gaura said, in Vaikunta, there are no young things. There's no babies in Vaikunta. There's Lakshmi and Narayan. Then their majestic aspect of divinity, very beautiful, wonderful pastimes, but Aishwarya means the majestic aspect. Just like in this world, there's a king, queen, and most of the subjects in the kingdom, when they see the king or the queen, they see sitting on the throne, crowned, dressed in jewels, holding a scepter. That's their conception of the king, and that is a proper conception of the king. But there's a point where the king takes off the crown, puts down the scepter, takes off the robe, and goes for his private life. Or as Guru Maharaj said, there's the king on the throne and the king in the harem. Right? So most of the people in general, they don't have knowledge of the king and the harem. And neither should they. But it doesn't mean that there's not that aspect. So, majestic aspect of the divinity. Vaikunta, 2.5 rasas. Shanta, Dasya. And in terms of some old-time servitors, the beginning of like friendship. Gradual, a little bit moving in that direction. But Mathura, Krishna's born in Mathura. Right? So he's bypassing Ayodhya in this condensed way. Just going from, Guru Maharaj says, in one leap, from Vaikuntha to Mathura, in a single leap. Where Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, the Sambandha Gyan, Bhakti Siddhanta Acharya, it's going step by step by step, incrementally, in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam, through the medium of the story of Gopakumar, going from this world to the upper world, and at last entering Goloka Vrindavan. So incrementally, step by step by step. Guru said, Rupa Goswami, in one leap, from Vaikuntha to Mathura. And then, by extension, Vrindavan. And the Saraswati Thakur expresses nicely, quoted by Guru Maharaj and Prapanna Jivanamritam, Vrindavanam hoite shrestha govardhana shaila, Gandharvika giridhari jatakrida koila. Superior to the Vrindavan pastimes, Mathura Vrindavan, then is Govardhan. And then superior pastimes in Radha-kunda. And Rupa Goswami is dealing with that. And the conclusion of the Upadeshamritam about bathing in the holy waters of Sri Radha-kunda. And Guru Maharaj said, there are those, he said, referring to Prakrita Sahajya imitationists, plodding in the mud of misconception fantasizing that they are swimming in the divine waters of Radha-kunda. So Saraswati Thakur said, that is not water as we conceive of conventionally. This, as we know from Charitamrita, Vaikunter Pritivyadi Sakala Chenmoy. Everything in the spiritual world is constructed of consciousness, and not just generic consciousness, but when we say Chenmoy, we mean spiritually enriched consciousness, the consciousness of dedication, of love and devotion that culminates in Krishna consciousness. This is, after all, the Krishna consciousness movement. Right? So, Guru Maharaj said, yes, those waters, Radha-kunda is Srimati Radharani in liquid form. Means the waters of the deepest sort of self-giving, self-sacrificing, Atma-nivedanam. It's being advised, you should bathe in the waters of that plane of self-sacrifice. Not that go for a swim in a pool and transformation and you've entered the divine abode. No, dive deep into reality. And the reality is composed of consciousness enriched with dedicating tendency, culminating its highest expression in Krishna consciousness, Radha-dasyam. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right? Interesting, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's an ocean. Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, it's this Krishna consciousness is an ocean, but it's impossible to describe all of that to you. So I'll take a drop from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and I'll explain a drop to you. A drop of the infinite is also infinite. Remember, our infinite sleeps on a bed of infinite. So a drop of the infinite is also infinite. But there in Srila Rupa Goswami, we know the sequence given, as we're told, how are we here? Agyata Sukriti Sukriti, unknown connection with the Nirguna plane, the substantial spiritual world, conscious participation, but with the accumulation of Sukriti, Srila Guru Maharaj says, one acquires the capacity for appreciation. That's why it's not a matter of intellectual ability, mental capacity. It's not data transfer, the transfer of information from one source to another, but a heart-to-heart transaction through the accumulation of Sukriti, means contact with nirguna agents. One acquires the capacity for appreciation. Because sometimes people think, this is so high, so deep, so how can I possibly comprehend all of this? By grace, by mercy is how it's possible. The accumulation of Sukriti in association with nirguna agents, one acquires the capacity for appreciation. And then we realize it as a gift, grace, gift from Guru and Vaishnav. So in his book, Rupa Goswami is saying, with that accumulation of Sukriti comes Shraddha, faith. And all this we're hearing about Krishna consciousness, the heart says, I may not understand it all, but I think it's possible. I'm betting that it's possible. At least that much is there. There's something here, if that much. Say, there's something here and my heart is resonating favorably toward that. Shraddha sadhu sangha. Actually, it's acquired by sadhus, but that keeps you in the company of sadhus. Then by hearing from them, whose faith is more evolved and developed, deep-rooted, our faith begins to mirror that, become more evolved, developed, deep-rooted. Those Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, they tell us what we should do. Spiritual activities given to us by Vaishnava, Sadhu Shastra Guru Vaishnava. Anartha Nivritti, gradually going from misconception to proper conception. Unwanted, unnecessary things, acquired prejudice, acquired tendencies, diminishing and vanishing in time. Nishta, then it can become deep-rooted. We're told Bhakti Lata beads in the beginning like a seed, conceptual seed enters the heart. But we see whenever you plant something, those early stages are critical because the seed that is newly sprouted, it's the environment has to be very favorable for its growth and development. This is spiritual it's common sense, spiritual common sense. Right? As with a baby, the child, the seedling, right? So that it can grow, and it needs to develop roots. It needs to become deeply rooted so it can sustain its growth in that environment, despite those things which are in opposition to its growth and development. Nishta, ruchi, and some actual taste for those things in the beginning that we're performing. Guru Maharaj said sometimes even painfully. Reach the point where there's some genuine taste and appreciation for that. Ashakti, then just like attachment, someone becomes attached or addicted to something in this world, but addicted to the right thing. Right? Like an addiction. That's good in growing, developing Krishna conception. Then bhav, in spiritual emotions, not sentimentality, but genuine spiritual emotions. And when they intensify to the extreme degree, prem, Krishna prem, love, divine love. Bhava Bhakti is compared, the Bhava Ankur, to what was this seed? It sprouted, grown, developed, then it blossomed, means flowered. And Guru Maharaj says it's comparable, just as a flower has a enchanting fragrance, the floral scent of the devotion emanating from the heart of that devotee is enchanting to Krishna. So this is very high, very good, bhav, and it's the preliminary stage of Krishna prem. Next is prem. But then that's another beginning. So then prem, what do you have? What is it? Pranay, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav. Goes through different stages of development of prem. And so we're told this bhav, here there was bhava bhakti, now this is bhav in the stage of prem. It's the stage before mahabhav, which we're told is only experienced by Radharani and Mahaprabhu. So bhav, of that type of Krishna prem, the example Rupa Goswami is saying, it's so high, but it's the highest achievement of whom? The Priyanarma Sakas, the leader of the cowherd boys, Subal. So he's saying, that can be experienced. And Rupa Goswami is giving this analysis. And I'm only mentioning it for the sake of the attempt to glorify Subal. And how distinguished his position is. We're told that he has family connection with that of Srimati Radharani, so he looks similar to her, but as a cowherd boy. So we can imagine how inconceivably beautiful he must be, looking like Radharani, but as a cowherd boy. And Guru Maharaj told a very sweet pastime where Krishna, during the daytime, he's feeling so much separation from Radharani that he tells Subal to go get Radharani and arrange for their meeting. And Subal is saying, this is very difficult in the daytime. It's not really possible. He's saying, but I'm feeling too much separation. You must get her. So Subal has a plan. He goes towards Radharani's house, and he said, one of our calves is missing, and we're searching for that calf. So that's why he's in the neighborhood. And then he meets with Radharani and said, Krishna's feeling too much separation from you, and you must go to meet with him now. She said, oh, it's very difficult. How is that possible? And they hatch this plan. They exchange clothes. So Subal gives Radharani his cowherd dress, and she gives him her gopi dress. So then he's sitting in the family, they're looking, they see Radharani sitting there, but really it's Subal. And then Radharani comes out wearing a turban, dressed as, and she's saying she found the calf. She's holding the calf, and then goes off to meet with Krishna. But Krishna's mad in separation, he's lost his senses, and he doesn't, and Radharani comes with the turban as Subal, and she said, it's not possible. And Krishna's, oh, he's mad and he cannot understand. And he's saying, and Radharani wants to test Krishna, and she says, but Chandravali is available, who's her main competitor. She said, I can get Chandra if you want. And Krishna saying, no, you don't understand my heart. Only Radharani will do. And Radharani saying, oh, good. And Radharani takes off her turban and her hair comes down. And she says, don't you recognize your eternal servitor? So once someone asked Srila Guru Maharaj, they wanted to make some Sakya Rasa deities. Somehow they got this idea. And like Krishna, Balaram, and then Subal and Srila. And they said, how should Subal be shown? And Guru Maharaj said, ready to fulfill the inner desire of Krishna. And they thought, oh, maybe Guru Maharaj doesn't understand what we're saying. And like, how should we, we're going to the deity, the Murtiwala, and how should Subal be shown? And Guru Maharaj said, ready to fulfill the inner desire of Krishna. And they said, but what should be his posture and gesture? And Guru Maharaj said, that the Murtiwala can decide. But he said, ready to fulfill the inner desire of Krishna. So that means Krishna is with the cowherd boys and they have their wonderful pastimes that are so wonderful. Even the Braja Gopis, sometimes in the daytime they're thinking, it would be better if we were cowherd boys. Then we could be in the forest with Krishna. But because we're gopis, we have to be here and he's there and we have to experience such deep separation. So they're thinking, maybe if we were cowherd, if we were gopas instead of gopis, that would be good. So it means even the Braja Gopis, they sometimes wish, if we could be gopas, and then we could play with Gopal in the daytime. So, why did I say that? Because, but among those cowherd boys during the forest, just as in that pastime Guru Maharaj told, Who can be trusted with such information? That means very, very intimate. So Subal has a very, very intimate relationship with Krishna. That Krishna, he can carry Madhura Rasa messages. So that means they have some connection. When Prabhupada was explaining years ago, the Nikunjayuno Rati Keli Siddhai Yayali Bi Zuktira Pekshaniya Tatatri Daksha Dati Balabhasya Bande Goroshi Charanavindam. This sloka, at the time I thought it was noteworthy that he included within that, I don't want to go into these details, it's beyond what we should discuss in detail, but just these things come to mind. He mentioned about Priya Narmasaka cowherd boys, which I thought was interesting, because they're carrying confidential messages, we shall say, confidential messages between Krishna and the gopis. That sort of trusted friend. And that's Subal in Gaura-lila, is Gauri Das Pandit, and he has so much love for Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Balaram's appearance day is approaching, a few days. And he loves them so much, he cannot tolerate their separation. So when they were visiting his town, was it Champahati? Amiya, you've been there many times on the and others, but I believe that. They're staying with him, he's so happy, Gaur Nityananda at his house. Then it comes time to leave, he thinks, I can't bear your separation. So they make two murtis, deities, like big size. And they say, let these murtis of us, which are our expansions, they're our very selves, that will give some relief to the separation in your heart. You'll always feel our presence. And he's saying, and why is that? The same, because the murti are identical. Like Deha, Dehi, Vibedo, Yamne, Srire, Vidute, Kvachet. Vaishnavas don't say Krishna is within the deity. Vaishnavas say Krishna is the deity. He's appearing as this deity. Everything. Not inside the deity or in some symbolic way. He's the deity. Even if we see the deity like Radharani, he has these extreme features, that's Krishna's play to appear that way. Or Govindaji and Jaipur, it looks like he has mittens. That's his play to appear that way. Right? So he is the deity. Not within the deity or symbolically, not like that. He is the deity. So they're telling Gauri Das Pandit, those deities are identical. They are us. Then Gauri Das Pandit said, if they are you, then I have a suggestion. You stay and those deities can go. You said they're none different from you. So the two of you stay with me and those deities can go. And then Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, they discuss, all right, then we'll do that. So then the switch takes place. But then Gauri Das Pandit thinks, oh, you think I'm a stupid man, right? You did some kind of, now because now they have deities. Now and the deities are moving. He's saying, no. And then they say to him, make up your mind. But it shows the type of love and affection of the Raga Bhakta. We're aspiring faithful servitors. Right? But we see, to go with the higher devotees, they're arguing with Krishna, Yashoda chastising Krishna, Radharani sometimes chastising Krishna, forbidding him entrance into her kunja, telling her representatives of Krishna come, stop him at the door. And that is enchanting Krishna. And that someone can have so much love and affection to treat him that way. This is not from a lower position, but from a higher position of love and affection. So it's not considered abuse. And he's saying rather, that sort of apparent abuse is more sweet and attractive to my heart than all of this majestic treatment based on an Aishwarya conception. So, is also the Disappearance Day of Srila Rupa Goswami, who is the ultimate leader of this line. Right? We call it the Rupa-nuga Sampradaya. And Srila Saraswati Thakur identified Srila Guru Maharaj as the Rupa-nuga Dara, the one carrying the line of Srila Rupa Goswami. As Guru Maharaj said, once some man asked, why, Rupa-nuga, why not like the line of Lalita? Or even Radha, Lalita, why this emphasis given to Rupa? And he's saying because the maximum gain can be achieved there. It's whether or not these things should be expressed, we have to carefully consider. But we see that in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, how he, in different ways, certifies the position of Sri Rupa as the leader, inheritor of his line. As in the Rathayatra pastime, around that time, or related to that, we know that sometimes Mahaprabhu, well, first of all, we should qualify by saying that Guru Maharaj gave a maxim saying, service according to the intensity of its necessity draws remuneration. And this is in response to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's statement, mysterious remark when he said once that, as echoed by Saraswati Thakur, that Vrindavan is for hollow, shallow thinkers. A man of real bhajan will prefer Kurukshetra. So, in what context can Vrindavan, which we ordinarily think of to be the exclusive domain of the highest section of liberated souls, how can he possibly say, it's for shallow, hollow people? A man of real bhajan will prefer Kurukshetra. Well, if we look to the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gurudev said often, what is the subject, what is Mahaprabhu's, the subject of his tasting matter? Krishna himself is descended as Mahaprabhu, not to relish the position of enjoyment and union, but rather of separation, viraha bhav, that the heart achieves a greater depth and yields a superior quality of love in separation than it does in union. Baihe Vishajalahoy Bitore Anandamoy Krishna Premer Adbhuta Charit. This is said to be the wonderful, astonishing characteristic of Krishna Prem, in that it achieves greater depth and separation than union. Saying so well, externally, like as if being, the heart is on fire, as if being suffering the effects of cobra venom. Sometimes separation is compared to a snake bite, like suffering the effects of cobra venom externally, internally relishing some extraordinary sweetness. So Guru Maharaj like to quote the poet Shelley saying, what is it? We think before and after and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. The sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. So the songs, the stories, the plays, narratives that we find most compelling is the heartbreaking love story. That captures the heart in the most extreme way. And although from one point of view it's painful, the lovers have separated, we're shedding tears and crying, internally the heart is relishing some peculiar sweetness and wants to hear more and more and more. And what is the result? More tears, more crying, greater heartbreak. Okay. This is not generally thought of as when people think of spiritual life or religion. Right? They want everyone to be smiling, right? Should always be smiling with big smile. I don't think that person is. But here we're hearing that that's the lower level of spiritual expression. The deeper level, the deeper zone, region, depth of heart is penetrated in separation. Right? And that brings out the most superior substance of the heart. So that Krishna wants to experience. He knows everything about the joys of union. Govindam Adi Purusham. He's the Adi Purusha, the original enjoyer, the original male. He knows everything about that. But what he wants to taste is what he observed in observing Srimati Radharani. That in separation from him particularly, he's thinking, what she's experiencing is 10 million times greater than what I'm experiencing. And he's the supreme reality. She's the better half of the sweet absolute. And it is his estimation that what she experiences is 10 million times more greater than what he's experiencing. It's not equal. And it's awakened the curiosity within him to experience that. But it cannot be experienced from the position of an enjoyer. And note, devotee, the reverse does not happen. Where the devotees, they want to experience his position as the enjoyer. Never. But he, who is the supreme enjoyer, does want to experience the position of a devotee. And that Rupa Goswami describes in one of his slokas in the Chaitanyastakam, of which he wrote 3. Right? One was not enough for Sri Rupa. 3 astakam, Chaitanyastakams, and the one that says, Aparam, and quoted by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and the foundational slokas, or in the superstructure upon which Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam will be built. Aparam kasyapi prani janavrindasya kutuki rasotstamam hritva maduram upabhoktum kambapiya rucham swama vavre dutim iha tariyam Sat Chaitanya Devaskritir Atitaram Na Kripayatu. Kotuki means curiosity. Seeing, remember, at the Rasa-lila, by various accounts, we know it's infinite, but to give us some numbers, sometimes we're told that there's 1 trillion gopis there. 1 billion, 1 trillion. A lot. Right? And remember, these are all inconceivably beautiful, all unique, right? and spiritual feminine attributes. So inconceivable beauty. Right? And in the midst of them, Radharani's there and her group and everything. And then we're told that at one point Radharani thinks, oh, I'm being taken as like group member. Right? So Guru Maharaj's deity, Gandharva Govinda. Gandharva means who's singing and dancing, enchanting Krishna. So although everyone is qualified singing and dancing, Srimati Radharani shows superior singing, dancing that to everyone, and then vanishes, leaves, right? Thinking that she is giving like equal treatment. And then Krishna, there is the billion, trillion gopis, and the Rasa-lila in full swing, and he thinks, the quality of this experience just went down. So he's thinking, what happened? Everyone's still here, but suddenly the quality of the whole experience, measurably, it went down. What happened? He said, oh, one left. Not just one. Who? Srimati Radharani. She left. So this is used by Jayadev Goswami and in the Ramananda Sanvad, the short method to establish the supremacy of Srimati Radharani. One leaves, that cancels the trillion. So you want to know how qualified she is? This one leaves, the other trillion are cancelled. That means inconceivably qualified. That Radha Madaya Hridaya Tatyaja Braja Sundari. Giving up the trillion, he goes searching for one. So we can't properly imagine her qualifications. But then Krishna, he is also trying to imagine, who's omniscient. Says, I can't estimate how great her love for me is. And what she experiences when she sees me, and when she, what to speak of when she is separated from me. So Krishna wants to experience that, he's saying, but the only way I can really feel it, I can understand it theoretically, intellectually, the only way I can actually feel it is to come under the influence of her heart. That's what Ritva Upabhoktam, that Ritva Madhuram Upabhoktam Kamapiya. So Guru Maharaj says he steals her heart, and the radiance of her heart is halo. And Guru Maharaj is saying, using the word steal, but so does Rupa Goswami, Ritva. So, because maybe she will not give that easily. So Krishna's stealing this from her. This is an amazing, inconceivable thing. Now Krishna becomes Gauranga. He's Shyamasundar normally, blackish beauty. Now Gauranga. Her heart's radiance is turned Shyamasundar Krishna, golden colored. Now he's the golden avatar, and he's experiencing what it is like to be her, chanting the name of Krishna, seeing the beauty of Krishna, experiencing separation from Krishna. So separation reaches its zenith point in Kurukshetra. And that is being celebrated in the Rathayatra pastime. Right? Puri taken as Dvaraka, and Mahaprabhu in the position of Radharani before Jagannath, who is Dvaraka Krishna. Radharani and Braja Gopis are taking Krishna back to Vrindavan. Really, they're pulling him by the ropes of love and affection. And he's transformed into Jagannath on account of experiencing uncontrollable separation from Vrindavan. So it's an ecstatic transfiguration of the effects of separation from Vrindavan on Dvaraka Krishna. So all of this is going on. It's very esoteric, you could say. And on top of it all, Mahaprabhu, sometimes he's singing. There's Jagannath in the chariot, and Mahaprabhu singing this song that seems like an ordinary song, like about some girl singing that to her husband, but she's remembering when he was not her husband, and they were on the banks of this river, and they first met and fell in love under the moonlight and all these things. And some people are saying, like, why is Mahaprabhu singing this song? But they're simple-hearted, pure devotees. It's just a mystery to most. Right? He likes to sing that song. But it's very meaningful for Mahaprabhu to sing this song to Jagannath. But once Rupa Goswami, he wrote another song and said, who is that girl, who is that boy, who is that river, what is that time of year, where is the place? He revealed everything in a verse. Wrote on the bamboo palm, and in their little thatched hut, he put it in the roof and went to bathe. Staying with Haridas Thakur, Sanatana Goswami. Mahaprabhu comes to visit and pulls this and sees this song, sloka, written, and it's revealing all these confidential things of his heart. And he says to Swarup Damodar, what is Rupa Goswami doing? And how can he do this? How can he know what's in my heart? And Swarup Damodar said, of course, Swarup Damodar knows also, which is interesting. When he's asking him, how can he know? Sri Gaura-matam svarupa viditam, svarupam bibrano jagatatulyam daita. So Swarup Damodar says, if that is in his heart, then you must have revealed it to him. That's the only way he can know. And Mahaprabhu is saying, yes, because he's the fit person to receive. What's in my heart? He's the fit person to receive that. This way he's certifying the position of Rupa Goswami. And when Rupa Goswami comes back from bathing, Mahaprabhu gives him a love tap on his face. Like, what are you doing? Why are you... But so he's showing many things there. That Rupa Goswami understands the heart of Mahaprabhu. He's saying that girl is Radha, that boy is Krishna, the river is the Jamuna, the time of month is this particular month, and so many things. It's revealing everything. But Mahaprabhu is showing it's something that should not be revealed in general. It has to be dealt very, very carefully, cautiously. Right? Sradhan bhato anushvanaya datavarnayedyak. It's faith, faithful adherence from proper authorities. The truth should dazzle gradually, lest all men become blind. Right? There's a proper way. So, and at other times, when Mahaprabhu wanted to introduce Rupa Goswami position-wise to his intimate followers, where Rupa Goswami was writing a divine inspiration to write these plays, which we should understand. He's writing reality. It's not a fantasy, like from the imagination of a person. What he's writing is reality. He can write reality. Right? We can think, oh, something real happened, then you express that. Not like that exactly. But he's writing, it's reality. Only Mahaprabhu is asking about what he was writing. And we should say before that, Rupa Goswami, in traveling to meet Mahaprabhu, was in a place called Satyabhamapur. And we know from Srila Guru Maharaj, Radharani and Chandravali, they're the two principal in Vrindavan. Radharani in supreme position, Chandravali represents competition, and that sweetens the pastimes, because she and her group, they're trying to take Krishna away. That makes dramatic tension in these pastimes. But Radharani is of heart, Chandravali of intellect. But when they expand out of Vrindavan to Dvaraka, there's a reversal. Heart takes secondary position, intellect goes in. So Chandravali becomes the queen Rukmini, and Radharani the queen Satyabhama. And we know Satyabhama, she is very difficult. Bhama Bhav means that. Radharani does not agree to all of Krishna's proposals. Same thing in Dvaraka, Satyabhama, she's sometimes envious of the other queens. She wants special treatment. So Rupa Goswami is visiting Satyabhamapur, and he's envisioning how he's going to write these plays. They're based on his divine experiences in Vrindavan and other things, I think, but he's writing reality, real time. And the queen Satyabhama appears to him and says, don't combine everything as one. He was, making one book. He said there should be two books, like the pastimes in Vrindavan, pastimes in Dvaraka. Don't make them one. So later, when he meets Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu tells him, do not take Krishna out of Vrindavan. Because actually he never leaves Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan we can understand in another way, not as a geographic location, but Anyara Hridayaman Moraman Vrindavan. Radharani says, normally a person's heart and mind are the same. She's saying, my heart and mind and Vrindavan are identical. So he's saying, don't take Krishna out of Vrindavan. Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam. Vrindavan proper means that plain that's embellished with the lotus footprints of Srimati Radharani. It is a construct of her heart in this sense. So Rupa Goswami is saying, like the dream, vision I had. And Mahaprabhu's asking him to give a preview for the others of some of the slokas. One of the slokas, he's saying, because in the beginning you state what is your purpose, and like summary form. Also, who is your Ishta Devata, your worshipable deity? When Mahaprabhu says, further say, he wants everyone to hear one sloka. He says, tell everyone that sloka you composed, that upon hearing which everyone becomes happy. And Rupa Goswami like little shy, and like Guru Maharaj when Saraswati Thakur is asking him. But Rupa Goswami saying, Tunde tandavani ritim vitanute tundavali labdiye karna kroda kadayani gatayate karnar budhebhya spriham. Saying the holy name of Krishna. It's from the two characters in his story, or real personality. They're saying, I do not know how much nectar, Krishneti Varna Twayi, is in the two syllables, Krishna. Right? Two syllables, Krishna. Saying, how much nectar there is there, that it's so sweet that one tongue is insufficient to taste all the sweetness. My heart desires to have millions of tongues to taste the sweetness. And how beautiful is the sound, that two ears are insufficient to capture all the sweetness of that sound. My heart desires to have millions and millions of ears to capture all the sweetness. And this way too are moving, and so everyone there, they're hearing, and everyone includes Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya. They're all familiar with all the great slokas and praise of the holy name of Krishna, but they think, this is the best. We've never heard something so wonderful. They're appreciating. Then Mahaprabhu, and who is your Ishta Devata? He's asking innocently, who is your God that you're worshipping? Your worshipable deity. And Rupa Goswami gives the sloka, Anarpita charim chirat karanavatirnakalo samarpayatam unatodjvala rasam swabhakti sriyam hari purata sundar duti kadamba sandipita sada hridaya kandare spuratu va sachinandana. Saying, my worshipable Lord is Sachinandan, the son of Mother Sachi. That means Mahaprabhu. That this is, Guru said, the sweet way. They don't always talk directly. And he say, Sachi's son. That means you. When Mahaprabhu hears this, he said, Atistute koreda. What you said is too much, it's exaggerations. Talk about something else. But when he said, who is your worshipable deity? Rupa Goswami is saying, you are. He's saying, another sloka you can say. Because Mahaprabhu wants to keep his position secret and hidden. But the devotees do not. That's why sometimes when all the devotees, there's 100,000, 1,000,000 people trying, go to Hari, go to Hari. And Mahaprabhu is hiding inside a house, and who is it? Advaita Charya, they say like, can the sun hide? You think by staying in this house, you're going to hide who you are? They know who you are, we know who you are, and you know who you are. So how long is this hide and seek going to go on? But they're also respecting, they know Krishna, he does not want to be thought of as Krishna. He's here humble as devotee, but Radha Bhava Duty Subalita, enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani. So, but Rupa Goswami is saying, what was never given before, this he's giving this. Unatojvala rasam svakti sriyam. This, the highest type of Madhura Rasa, which means Mahabhav, Mahabhav's Rupina Radha Thakurani. So, in other words, many things can be understood from there, but we understand from Srila Guru Maharaj. There's Gaura avatar in every Kali Yuga, right? Remember, there are Sahaswar Yuga Parjantam Ahor Yad Brahmano Vidu. 1,000 Yuga cycles. Names of Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. It's 4,300,000 years. And then they repeat. 1,000 of those is 4,300,000,000 years. That's a day times 2, night. Means 8,300,000,000 years is a day of Brahma. So what Rupa Goswami is saying, once in a day of Brahma, does Krishna come as Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, and in the Kali Yuga that follows, does Gauranga Mahaprabhu, enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani, come? In every yuga, those thousands and thousands, every time. But only once do you come as you are now. And in this time, you're distributing what's not been given before. Unatojvala Rasam Bhakti Swam, this highest type of Krishna prem or divine love. And that is also why it is the Rupa-nuga line, because Guru Maharaj was saying, we alluded to this earlier, that Radha Krishna in private No, the Sakis are older girls on the same age as Srimati Radharani. So in one sense, as we mentioned, Chandramali, competitors. And their private meeting, they cannot enter there. But the juniors group of Rupa Manjari, they can render service at that time on account of their junior age. So they can render service in this most confidential way. And Radharani, out of gratitude to her serving group, she's giving them a taste of Mahabhav. We told Bhav is the highest thing, tamed by Subal and by gopis. But Mahabhav, only Radharani Mahaprabhu. But she is giving a taste of that out of gratitude to her servitors. And Guru Maharaj said, once you have a taste of that divine substance, all other, but to speak of all other taste, all other rasas become tasteless. So, in that way, Guru Maharaj is demonstrating that this is the Rupa-nuga line, the superior position of Sri Rupa, whom Srila Saraswati Thakur said in one place is, Rupa also means beauty. The separated beauty of Srimati Radharani. If you could extract all of her beauty and personify that, and all its implications. And Srila Saraswati Thakur asked Srila Guru Maharaj, called him to his bedside 24 hours before his leaving this world, to sing the song Sri Rupa Manjari in praise of the lotus feet of Sri Rupa. And many things are expressed there, but one beautiful thing is that Prana Kuvalaya Shashi, comparing the heart of the aspiring servitor to a lotus, and that the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami are like moonshine. There's a type of, one lotus is nourished by the sunshine, another lotus is nourished by moonshine. That's a very rare type. Saying, so the heart of the aspiring servitor, the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami are like moonshine, shining upon the heart of that servitor, nourishing this inner aspiration for service under her guidance in this line. Hare Krishna. We're seeing Radha Dasyam. So, Srila Saraswati Thakur called Srila Guru Maharaj to his bedside to sing what Narottam Thakur wrote in praise of Rupa Goswami as an indication of his qualifications to properly represent the conception of Srila Rupa Goswami as conceived, promoted, promulgated by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, Narottam Thakur, and all of those in the Rupa-nuga line. Hare Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami Tirobhav Mahamahotsava ki jai. Srila Gauri Das Pandit Tirobhav Mahamahotsava ki jai. Go Premanande.